You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Wait a minute, I just feel like this is so crazy that we actually get to talk again about the 76ers winning a basketball game. And I will say the headline for this show today here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia and this Locked On 76ers Postcast, the Sixers win, no really, in our thumbnail. That is by far my favorite headline that we have put together so far since the Sixers season started. Welcome into Locked On 76ers Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. This particular episode is brought to you by the incredible people at FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you can start it with $150 in bonus bets if you win that $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com to get started. And your favorite podcast now has a brand new newsletter. Introducing the Locked On 76ers daily newsletter, one stop for ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com, and start your day with the all-new free Locked On 76ers newsletter. The best thing, and we do every single show, three big things, and right out of the gate, we're going to get started with this. And before I talk about Tyrese Maxey, before I even talk about Paul George playing in this game tonight, before I talk about Andre Drummond's unfortunate injury, we'll see how bad that is. Hopefully not too bad. But also, the number one thing that really jumps out to me about this is how the bench helped in this game. There was an adjustment made in this game tonight for Nick Nurse. Jared McCain came off the bench. Kelly Oubre was back in the starting lineup. Him and Maxey were your 1-2 punch at the guard position. But mostly throughout tonight's ball game, what I was really impressed with was the fact that the 76ers got help from guys off the bench. And I'm so glad that we've already talked about the energy that Ricky Council IV is able to bring off the bench and the energy he has brought to this team really since he's been up at the NBA, since he's come up from the G League. And I remember talking to Jameer Nelson last year about Ricky Council IV and what he could bring to the table. This was ahead of last year. And he said, energy guy, needs to work on the outside shooting. Tonight, he gets to the foul line, gets 7 free throws, goes 6 for 7 from the foul line, knocks down a 3, 5 of 7 from the floor tonight, 17 points in 27 minutes for Ricky Council IV. Then the guy we were talking about 2 shows ago, KJ Martin, was all over the place in this game. Just as he was 2 games ago, he brought energy, he brought a spark, he brought a passion to play tonight. And the Sixers would certainly need that, and they're going to continue to need that from KJ Martin. And what you saw from him tonight, follow-up jams, also knocked down a 3 for himself, 7 of 8 from the floor, 19 points in 27 minutes. So you get 19 from KJ Martin, you get 17 from Ricky Council IV, and you get that kind of contribution. Also, on another note, KJ Martin came up with 6 rebounds in the ball game tonight as well. We have not seen this kind of spark off the bench since Jared McCain was coming off the bench. Now you're starting to get other guys to really start to contribute to help this Sixers team in the least bit, but I'll take it tonight against a Pistons team, of course, that had their way with you the first time around, and then the Sixers were able to have their way with them tonight. And really what ended up being a laugher, thanks in large part to what you got from those 2 key components off the bench in this game. Number 2. Look, it wasn't a great night for Paul George. All right, let's just get this out of the way. It was not a great night. 2 for 12 from the floor is what it turned out to be. 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. He did pull down 8 rebounds, so he contributed in that way. He also had 5 assists, 11 points. This is a guy that is going to continue to try to get his legs under him. And I know when he addressed the media earlier in the week, he was hoping that he could play at some point this week. He was hoping really within a week be able to play. So to see him go out there tonight and put in 26 minutes, hustle, looked like he was certainly favoring the knee a little bit, but certainly going out there looking like he was trying to establish some rhythm again throughout tonight's ball game. I will take this as a very happy first step. You're talking about a guy who hasn't played in 10 days, literally 10 calendar days, hadn't gone out there and played. Last played against Memphis where he re-aggravated the knee injury, only played 17 minutes out there. The fact that he was able to get over 20 minutes today was a great sign. And the fact that he was out there still hustling, doing whatever he could, ripping boards, setting up teammates, whatever it was, he was doing that tonight. The scoring will come. The shooter's touch will come. But guess what? Hustle never goes out of style. And I thought Paul George tonight was at least hustling for his team to put him in the best possible position to try to win this basketball game. So get the contributions from him just to get him out there on the floor was a great thing. Number 3. I mean, Maxey's a leader, man. No question about it. An absolute leader. And I'm not in a position where I'm going to start doing cartwheels over the fact that they beat the Pistons, but let's just face it. The 76ers have been terrible this year. I mean, let's call it what it is. We all know this is not breaking news. They've been terrible this year. Just as I said against the Nets when the Sixers won, I'm going to say it now against the Pistons. I don't care who the wins are against. Hell, if they end up beating the Celtics, then yeah, you have to be pretty awesome. I'm not going to go ahead and bet on that one. But if they're just going to go out there and just fight, if they're just going to go out there and get contributions off the bench that they did tonight, if they're going to go out there and get Paul George slowly but surely getting his legs back under him, and they're going to go out and get Tyrese Maxey to put up some great numbers again, then guess what? I am just going to enjoy every single win that they can muster up before the second half of the season starts. And that's really what it comes down to. Because when you get into January and you get into February and you're talking about whatever you could get from Joel Embiid and you're talking about how healthy Paul George is at that point, you're going to be able to hopefully rely on a guy like Tyrese Maxey as the season goes on. And if he can help you log victories, if he can help you start stacking some W's here to at least put you in contention to make the playoffs, not championship contention just yet, by the time you get everybody else healthy and everybody else's legs under them, well, if you could just get within striking distance, be in a position to make the playoffs or make a run for the playoffs late in the season, well, then these little wins against the Nets and against the Pistons are certainly going to be helping that cause. Get as many as you can. When I look at this game overall, and by the way, the numbers on Maxey, 11 for 24, so 24 shots for 28 points, 5 of 10 from beyond the arc tonight for Tyrese Maxey, and only 2 free throws. Your starting 5 tonight shot 5 free throws. That's pretty terrible. That's not necessarily getting the calls. Not that the Sixers needed it, but they certainly set the tone early in this game, and I think they kind of knew that this was going to be a laugher in their favor heavily after that first quarter, where they won by 17 points, by the way, 37-20. But when I watch Tyrese Maxey, when I watch Jared McCain off the bench tonight, try to find his way, certainly, I'm looking at guys that are trying to establish a rhythm and still trying to figure out very much how they're going to play with one another. And if you have guys in and out of the lineup with injury, and let's not forget Tyrese Maxey also missed a good portion of the season, the early goings here with his hamstring injury. He's trying to find his way with Paul George. Paul George trying to find his way with him. And then you're getting the contributions off the bench from these guys. These are guys that are now trying to get on that same page. And I thought tonight was one of the best examples of that, being that you had adversity. Now, I'll welcome the adversity of Paul George being back in the lineup. I will welcome that challenge. You got that tonight from Paul George. You got that tonight from Tyrese Maxey. And then what else did you get? You got KJ Martin, and then you also had Ricky Council IV making sure that he was contributing for this victory tonight as well. Look, there was a couple of things you could look at in tonight's basketball game that I know a lot of people are very happy about. We'll get into that in the next segment. But when I look at some of the numbers on the other side of this, it's something we could bask in. No doubt about it. We'll get into that in a second. That's when we come back. This is Locked On 76ers postcast on the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia's YouTube channel for all your postcast needs. By the way, Harry Mays and Jason Martinez will be back with you guys tomorrow after the Eagles kick off with the Ravens. Make sure you log on and like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia for all your Philadelphia postcast needs. Harry Mays, Jason Martinez have you covered tomorrow after the Eagles kick off with the Ravens at 4:25 in the Inner Harbor, Baltimore, Maryland. All right, when we come back, a couple of numbers that I know a lot of Sixers fans will bask in tonight. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On Sports Philadelphia. My name is Mark Farzetta. Back after this. Hey, Skylight Frames. Hopefully you guys have heard of this, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed all they have to offer. Missing someone this holiday season and want them to be a part of the festivities from afar? Do your loved ones live far away? Well, if they do, and you wish they lived a little bit closer to you? Well, we got the perfect gift for you at Skylight Frame. It's the touchscreen digital photo frame your whole family will love. Upload thousands of photos with your phone and watch them appear in seconds. It's so easy to use. Setup takes less than 60 seconds. We all have millions of photos on your phone, but you're not just sitting there scrolling on your phone at family gatherings, passing the phone around. No, you just put it right there on an amazing, a beautiful Skylight frame. Easy to use, like I said, takes less than 30 seconds to set up. Seamless sharing. Invite friends and family to easily share photos via free Skylight mobile app or email. No account or subscription required. Better than social media. It's great. Private way to share photos without posting it to the world or having to print them at stores with hard copies. It's so easy to use. Setup takes less than 60 seconds and seamless sharing. Invite friends, family, and easily share photos via the free Skylight mobile app. It's absolutely fantastic. Take advantage of all they have to offer at Skylight Frame. That's skylightframe.com/NBA. Get $20 off your purchase of Skylight Frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NBA. That's skylightframe.com/NBA. There is no Sixers fan that did not enjoy the numbers or really the game that you watched tonight from Tyrese Maxey. Now, I liked before the game. They showed it during the game as well. It was Tyrese Maxey, and it was Tobias Harris going over, embracing, hugs, kisses, puppy dogs, and ice cream, and all that. But Tobias Harris tonight, 23 minutes logged for your Detroit Pistons. For those Detroit Pistons, I should say. 1 for 8, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, 4 points, 2 of them coming from the charity stripe for Tobias Harris. Also, Kate Cunningham didn't participate in tonight's game, and nobody was really stepping up other than Malik Beasley there for the Detroit Pistons. Also, Jaden Ivey dropped in 15 points for Detroit tonight, but Tobias Harris was on the struggle bus tonight. Boy, was he. And I know there's no Sixers fan that is rooting him on, at least, to say the least, when it comes to the former 76er. On the positive side of things, though, for the 10-9-8 76ers, one of the things that jumped out, other than guys off the bench, other than Paul George playing in this game tonight, other than Tyrese Maxey doing a hell of a job dropping in 28 points, the other thing that jumped out to me was how well the Sixers moved the ball. Now, there have been instances this year where the Sixers have really gone around the horn and swung it around the perimeter rather well. There wasn't a ton of that tonight. What I really noticed in particular the Sixers were doing tonight was backdoor cuts and attacking the rim. And when you saw the Sixers jump out to that strong lead there in the first quarter and really take control, that was a big way they were doing it. Now, the Pistons certainly fought their way back in the second quarter, but the Sixers then quickly extinguished that fire in the third quarter, the quarter they have struggled probably most in all season by a pretty huge majority. In that third quarter, I'm seeing backdoor cuts. I'm seeing KJ Martin attacking the rim. I'm seeing Ricky Council IV attack the rim. I'm seeing Tyrese Maxey get cocky and confident from beyond the arc. And I'm seeing that guy just take over and control the pace of play. We've seen him go off and have great scoring nights with 28 points, 30 points, 40 points, whatever it might be. But one of the things that I'm really enjoying watching from Tyrese Maxey is really coming to his own in terms of being able to control the pace of play. He's not a point guard by trade. It's something he's learned at the NBA level. I know Nick Nurse has said something very similar about what you've seen from Jared McCain at the NBA level. He's not a point guard. It's something he's trying to learn. But Maxey tonight, as this team's starting point guard, did a phenomenal job of being able to control that pace. And if the Pistons were trying to get something going, Maxey slowed it down beautifully in this game. Or if it was time to run, he would absolutely hit turbo and then be able to run the floor without a problem. Seeing him be able to control the pace of play is a great step forward in his maturity as a guard and point guard, obviously, in the NBA. And that's something we haven't seen from him a lot. I saw it a little bit tonight, and that's something I want to see him really build on. It's not something we see a lot from him so far, but seeing him build on that momentum tonight was a great thing. Something else that really jumped out also was just the adjustment. When talking about these guards, it was just the adjustment. Jared McCain has been struggling from the floor. Tonight, 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, 3 for 7 from the floor, 7 points for Jared McCain in 29 minutes. Came off the bench, did not start. Little adjustment there by Nick Nurse. You don't want a kid, his confidence to be shot. I think it's going to take a lot, though, for Jared McCain's confidence to get shot. I think the kid's still brimming with confidence. And he's still, hey, you want to talk about 15 players being better than me at in the draft? Forget it. Still believes that. No matter how much he might be struggling right now and how much he might be struggling from beyond the arc compared to what we saw over an 8-game stretch where he set an NBA rookie record, you're seeing a guy now trying to respond to the first adversity in his very young NBA career. You're talking about a kid now 18 games into his NBA career. I don't think you're going to be seeing his confidence take a huge hit. I think he can roll with the punches. Nick Nurse has now put this challenge in front of him by making him come off the bench in this game. And I think it's something that is going to be a great challenge to him and something that's going to be something that's going to overcome. Look, he wasn't just going to continue to hit 3 threes in the game every single game that he played in. He wasn't just going to continue to 20, 25, 30 points. He wasn't just going to continue to put up numbers like that. He was going to face adversity. Every single athlete in every single sport, when they go through a hot streak early in their careers, you just know that that brick wall is going to be there, and that brick wall is the adjustment that the opposing teams are making. It's all about how you're going to adjust back to that. You see it all the time in baseball. Guys come up, they're hitting the cover off the ball. Next thing you know, they can't hit down and in fastballs, start throwing down and in fastballs. Now they got to make the adjustment, how they're going to inside out that pitch and put it in the left or right field. Same thing in basketball here. How are guys defending them? How are you just going to go through the ebbs and flows of being ice cold as a shooter? I mean, we remember Buddy Hield last year was ice cold with the Sixers. Next thing you know, he goes over to the Golden State, shooting the lights out again, like Buddy Hield had done throughout a lot of his career. It's just going to happen. There's going to be days where you're not going to be able to take the lid off the basket. There's going to be days where you can't throw the ball in the ocean from a boat, that old thing. Darren McCain is going through that right now. Now it's about how he's going to respond, how he's going to adjust back, how he's going to adjust to the adjustment. Now, his coach is putting a challenge in front of him as well by saying, all right, come off the bench and do this again. Let's see that spark again. Be that guy again. And then hopefully we'll get you back in the starting rotation. And if that helps the Sixers win more basketball games, well, that'll be a wonderful thing. Also, one more name, and I'll save it for the next segment, but one more name, excuse me, I want to hit, who really stepped up tonight. And the Sixers needed him to, because Andre Drummond going down. There's really two guys, but Andre Drummond going down 4 minutes into this game. That was a bit of a rough one there. And with already Joel Embiid being on the mend, best backup center probably in the NBA, and Andre Drummond now all of a sudden thrust into the starter's role more often than not, and now could be on the mend for a little while longer. We'll talk about that when we return. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast and the Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Back after this. FanDuel. Hopefully you guys are winning some money on FanDuel. Have some great times with FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL, all in one place. So, when you have a hunch in the middle of a game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets, and if you win with your first $5 bet, that's what you get, $150 in bonus bets. That's on FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com. Check out these amazing odds right now to win the Super Bowl. Speaking of NFL action, the Detroit Lions going off at plus 270. Kansas City Chiefs going off at plus 550. Baltimore Ravens at plus 600. And your Philadelphia Eagles at plus 650. Buffalo Bills also at plus 650 right now. But the Ravens and Eagles kicking off tomorrow. Right there, both in the 600s when it comes to winning the Super Bowl. As far as an NBA title goes, the Boston Celtics are the leader in the pack right now at plus 230. OKC are going off at plus 500. Dallas Mavericks at plus 1,000. To find your Philadelphia 76ers, you got to go all the way down to plus 3,500. That's where they're at right now, plus 3,500. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. So just visit FanDuel.com to join today, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet on FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com. Adem Bona. I very rarely does this ever happen where I'll actually have my eye on a guy in the second round. And sure enough, Adem Bona was still on the board out of UCLA. And he was still on the board. And I was thinking, this would be a good spot for the Sixers. You have a guy 6'10", 6'11", a guy that could move pretty well on the court, certainly has grown into his body, will continue to do that at the NBA level. I want to see if it will be a project for the Sixers. And sure enough, he has been a project. He's been up and down from the G League, unfortunately, but now with the Sixers banged up at the center position and Joel Embiid still going through his load management and his injury management, Adem Bona has been getting a little bit more of a run than I expected. He's been getting more of a run, and then also tonight with Andre Drummond going down just 4 minutes into the game, Adem Bona gets an opportunity to go there and show what he can do. 20 minutes of playing tonight, he gets you 4 points, he gets 3 block shots, he gives you 5 rebounds. 21 years old, still very much as you would assume at the NBA level, like most second-round picks. But if the Sixers are going to give him a little bit more run, along with Gershon Yabusele, going out there and doing this thing as well, playing the power forward / center position, the Sixers are going to have some guys out there. I mean, right now, you're looking at guys that are, for the most part, playing the center position. You get 8 rebounds from Yabusele tonight. You get 8 rebounds from him. Then you get another 5 rebounds, from Adem Bona and 3 block shots. That's not bad from a center position. In total, you get 45 minutes out of those guys tonight. That's a nice little run. The thing I like about Gershon Yabusele, though, when you talk about backup center or a power forward, whatever, you're talking about a guy that is not afraid to be physical. And that's not something I expected. I know when he was cutting his teeth in the NBA, when he was with the Celtics, and then later deciding to go back to France and work on his outside shooting, the thing he got to the NBA on originally was more about hustling, was more about being physical, and more about getting rebounds than it was shooting from the outside. So the guy goes to France, he learns how to shoot from the outside, and he starts helping his game a hell of a lot more, and he finds himself back in the NBA and now wearing a 76ers uniform. If he can go back to his bread and butter every once in a while, especially if the Sixers are going to be without Andre Drummond and they continue to be without Joel Embiid, then we're going to be looking at a guy in Gershon Yabusele that's going to go out there and bring back that physicality that originally got him to the NBA. Now, what has brought him back to the NBA is his outside shooting ability. But Adem Bona and Gershon Yabusele, if they're going to be going out there and playing the center position, taking over for Drummond and obviously Joel Embiid, I look forward to getting more from Gershon, and I look forward to seeing the growth of Adem Bona as time goes on in his NBA career. One guy I have not been able to crack the code on, and maybe you can help me out here. Eric Gordon. I don't get it. I haven't gotten it. I don't understand it. I know Lowry's been banged up. Eric Gordon's 35 years old. I admire him for the long career he's been able to put together in the NBA. Certainly did a hell of a job with the Houston Rockets. Certainly last year with the Suns. But here in Philadelphia, I have not understood Eric Gordon's role. Now, look, he only played 10 minutes tonight. And for the most part, most of the game, obviously a blowout. But I just don't get it. You're also going without Reggie Jackson tonight, so you didn't have him in your lineup. You don't have, as I mentioned, Kyle Lowry. I don't understand what Eric Gordon's role is. Tonight was out of necessity more than anything. Let's get that out of the way. But I just don't understand it. 0 for 4 tonight. 0 for 2 from beyond the arc. He got you 2 assists and 2 steals. So there you go. Defensive replacement? I don't know. But I have not really understood what his role is on this team just yet. Everyone who's available, by the way, played tonight. Even Justin Edwards got 3 minutes. But Eric Gordon is still a guy I'm watching that I am just scratching my head on. I just don't get the acquisition. I didn't get it then, and I still don't get it now. All in all, to go back to three big things for tonight. When I look at Paul George playing in the game, I'm just happy to see him out there. I think you're going to get a much better brand of basketball from Paul George as the season goes on. He even acknowledged when he was addressing the media last week, or really earlier this week, saying that this isn't something he sees that will be a continuous struggle. This is something that he'll eventually put in his rearview mirror. The other thing that he said was he's 100% sure that the 76ers, and you could bet on this, that the 76ers are going to turn this season around for themselves. So I hope that's the case, and I hope tonight is a great first step back. The other is what you got off the bench. And when I see a guy like Ricky Council IV getting an opportunity like he got tonight, and when I see a guy like KJ Martin now in back-to-back games, really, because even if you go back to the previous game against the Rockets, KJ Martin was all over the place. And again, KJ Martin, not Caleb Martin. KJ Martin was all over the place. In the second and third quarter of that game against the Rockets, he was under the basket. He was making plays. He was trying to, he was playing some great defense as well. But tonight, what I loved about him and Ricky Council was they both were just so aggressive. Ricky Council's shot from the outside is just still funny to me, but he's working on it. But watching those guys go out there tonight and play with the energy that they played, they looked like guys that really wanted to nail the audition, if you will. And that's what they were able to bring to the floor tonight. And you saw it throughout tonight's game. And that's not something they've been given a huge opportunity to do recently. But over the last two games, you have seen them get that opportunity and try to make the most of it. Were shots falling for KJ Martin the other night against the Rockets? No. Shots falling for him tonight? Yes. Was he able to get the rim and get a couple of dunks? Absolutely. But seeing that brand of basketball for them to at least know that it's there, if Nick Nurse needs to tap into it a little bit more if guys go down, and you're continuing to see guys like Paul George figure out how to play again, healthy, I love seeing that from guys coming off the bench to bring that kind of energy. Then finally, just one more time, Tyrese Maxey just continues to take major steps forward as a leader. And I know I said it at the time, it is worth reiterating. The old story now of Joel Embiid getting called out by Tyrese Maxey, that old story, the lead was obviously Joel being called out for being late, whatever. The big story that really should have come out of that is that Tyrese Maxey became a full-blown leader. He has shed the skin of a young, up-and-coming player, and he is now proudly wearing the outfit of an all-star, a most improved player, and more importantly, above everything else, a team leader. This is a guy that now understands that his voice carries a hell of a lot of weight in that locker room. We all know it now. The national media certainly knows it. The 76ers absolutely know it. And seeing him step up tonight, in a night where the Pistons certainly had their struggles, and you needed someone to step up and be that star, Tyrese Maxey was every bit of that tonight for the Sixers. So I absolutely love to see that. As far as the Sixers, for coming up, I know I've made this joke before, but I'll make it again. All right. The Sixers have yet to win back-to-back games this season. The Sixers, the last time they faced the Charlotte Hornets, that was in South Philadelphia. Now they go face the Charlotte Hornets at 7 o'clock Tuesday night. That's December 3rd. The Sixers beat them in overtime 107-105. Jared McCain had 27 points in that game. The Sixers are going to get another opportunity to try to top them. And for the first time this season, hopefully win 2 in a row. They win one more after that. That's called a winning streak. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with you guys following Tuesday's game against the Charlotte Hornets. Harry Mays and Jason Martinez will have you covered for your Locked On Eagles postcast coming up after Eagles Ravens tomorrow afternoon at 4:25. They'll be on right after that game, right here on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. That's Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Make sure you hit like and subscribe on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. My name is Mark Farzad. I'll be back with you guys Tuesday night following the Sixers and Hornets. See you then. Bye.